you would peek up.
Hey guys, it is Sunday night. It's Blasted or Stash It time. With this, we're gonna go ahead and we'll jump right into the comic books. You want to know what books to pick up? Watch this show. Here we go, Joe. Since Drew is not here yet, I'm sure he'll pop in maybe here in a little bit. And unfortunately, Paulie's got night off. He's got some stuff going on. So it's just us three for right now until Drew pops in. So, Joe, your first book for the evening.
First book for the evening. I know it's on the tips of everybody's tongues. It is Conan #2. How cool was this book? This is the Conan story that we all know and love. We got some great stuff. Now, we don't have it's more like a prequel, back what happened before. We got Conan. We got savages. We got Conan being hired by noble people that are civilized to go take care of them. And then what do we find out at the end? We get a Dances with Wolves stories where he embeds himself with these people for a little bit of time, and then he changes his mind and wants to go back, and he's not happy in the tavern at the end of the story. This is great. I mean, it was just great stuff. Highly recommend it. If you're not reading Conan, like seriously, and it almost made my stash of the week because it was just such a great story. And the artwork in it's so clean, so colorful, and makes sense. This is Conan. I like this. This was good.
Mike, Conan, thoughts,
Conan,
wishes, prayers.
Yeah, we got CR Comics to Toys. He's saying evening. Comics Misexplained. He says all about comics is in the house. Mr. Gretzky 9966. Some fucking dude named Hueys Comics. I don't know who the fuck that is. But yeah, I love Conan too. I don't know what else to say. It's fucking Conan. It's fucking bloody, violent, and awesome. I'm really looking forward to the Bleat spinoff at her first appearance for cheap the other day, because it's going to be more. Yeah, Conan's a definite stash.
Yeah, Conan was definitely good. And giant snakes. Can't go wrong with giant ghost snakes. And a herd of them? Or what would you call a group of snakes? What is it? It's
a hissening.
A hissening? Hissening works. The hissenings of ghost snakes. And yeah, this was really good stuff. I was trying to figure out where does this tie in with the story from the first book? Because it was a complete backstory, nothing showing at all from what happened the last issue. That came in at the very end of the book, so that's when they kicked that in. I'm like, oh, okay, there's the connection. It shows those twins or whoever those kids are. And this says, nope, it's not time yet. Not time to take the Conan down. His blood is not ready yet. Good stuff. Definitely a stash. I was really hesitant about this book, even coming into the last issue. This is good stuff, man. I'm looking forward to this going forward. So definitely is a stash for me as well.
Big shout out to Farley's Nerd Cave. Haven't seen him before. Farley's Nerd Cave. He said Conan is definitely a keeper. And all about comics. So dang it, now I want to read Conan.
Farley's Nerd Cave is a Gru fan. I found that out. He showed some Gru stuff. I'm like, oh, another Gru fan. I don't know if you guys read Gru at all or have read Gru. Heard about right there with me. Mike. There I went with again. I was talking about cutting out those uhs. And I keep doing it. Mike, you're up. Your book for the next book for the week.
My book for the week?
Your first book for the week. Sorry.
We'll just do fucking. There I go cussing again.
Yeah, there I go. Now make me more editing.
If I could find it, we'll do my pick of the week. And it's not White Widow. God damn it. There I cussed again. It's actually Spawn Kills 2, #2. If you haven't picked up issue 1, go pick it up. It's fucking funny. This one just tops it. If you know, last issue, Spawn had a bunch of babies. Just bear with me here. He had a bunch of babies. Their little Spawn. he's so busy in this issue taking care of his babies, he's slacking in 2019 as far as killing people. He's all worried about being able to afford Fortnite skins and shit like that. So he decides to leave the babies and go kill Aquaman. He actually, the reason why he wants to go kill Aquaman is because Aquaman's a box office contender now. So, that Spawn movie's coming out. He fails to kill Aquaman. The babies kind of get in the way there. One sneaks with him, and you have to read it. It's funny. So the baby spawns actually feel bad. So bear with me now. They start eating each other to grow big and helps them become more intelligent. They actually go hunt down Captain America and give him a heart attack by turning everything he owns Canadian. No offense to the Canadian people, but that was fucking funny. They actually kill the Hulk by switching out all his purple pants to non-stretch pants, and it makes his head explode when he turns into the Hulk. They find and kill alien xenomorph from him and use his body as a slip and slide. It's a fun book with some great art. It's not Scotty Young art, but it looks like it. But shout out to Comic Girl Ava who hopped in here. But yeah, check out this book, man. Great cover right here. Got Infinity Gauntlet, Iron Man, Zelda, Thundercats. Pick of the week right here.
Did you read Spawn, Joe?
I didn't. I was going to pick it up, but then I ended up picking up another book instead, and I want to stay within my budget because I'm stupid and greedy. So no. No, I wish I did.
Just the whole taking all Captain America stuff, turning it Canadian. That was almost a selling point for me.
I'll show that. Here we go.
He looks like Captain Canada. Yeah.
Captain Canada.
Okay. My first book for the evening. It is Justice League Dark number 7. This beginning of this book, it reminded me of a Tales from the Crypt story, and that's what it kind of felt like. Here we have Man-Bat clacking away on his computer, writing stories or taking notes, and it's, oh, hello, how are you doing? And it kind of goes through like he's talking to you. And then he ends up going through 4 different stories. Yeah, there's 4 different stories. One called The Soup, one called The Conjoined, one called The Offspring, and one called The Rip. So, very interesting. I was like, well, I wasn't too thrilled with it at first after I started getting into it, and I saw that twist at the end again. Upside Down Man makes another appearance. He hasn't he's been away for a while, so it's kind of nice to see him back and make another appearance. Maybe it might be a little more of a presence going forward. Now, I did decipher the last story when the Man-Bat was reading that page at the end was all backwards. Yes. I could read some of it, but I had to sit there and go write down each whole thing. So, see here. The other place, home of the great and terrible monsters that infect our world. As the magicians trapped inside seek desperately to escape, but who can escape the tendrils of the Rip? So I thought, okay. So I had to read that, so nobody else has to worry about going through and trying to decipher that. I did it for you. What's that?
That was the first porn I was in. That was the name of the first porno I was in.
The Rip? Is that what it was? The Rip,
Tendrils.
Mike? Oh, the tendrils. Yes. Nice. Nice. So it does go through 4 stories. Now, I'm not sure if these are all going to be new villains going forward from the other side. Maybe it's their first appearance. Who knows? But like I said, at the first of this book, I was kind of like, what are they doing here? Are they trying to go with a new format? But toward the end, I got to that Upside Down Man. I loved it. It's a stash. Justice League Dark. Pick it up for sure. Joe?
Yeah, you said it perfectly. This read, if you collect Golden Age horror, it read like Golden Age horror. And the interesting thing is we had new characters and some really old characters in this. We had Creature Commando in here, the old team from the Silver Age. We had Bennett, the vampire, the ghost vampire. Just great classic stuff from the Silver Age. And then we had these new characters, that had these kind of odd names like the Soup and the Conjurer and all these other different kind of stuff. And it was just really a good read. I really like breaking that fourth wall to narrate a story and leading me into all the greatness that this book was able to produce. What's up, homie?
What's going on, baby? I got my movie quote and everything. I'm ready to rock.
We were just talking about Justice League Dark. Drew, did you read that?
I don't read Justice League Dark.
Oh man, you are missing out.
Hey man, bully for you for enjoying it.
Okay,
I didn't like issue 1, so I didn't. I gave up on it quick.
Mike he was going to say something there right before you rudely interrupted him. What are you going to say, Mike?
Did I?
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike.
I book this of Glob, but like it was like he was all his body parts and shit was. I thought that was pretty fucking cool. So I'm gonna read it. So.
Yeah, that was the Soup. You squish that girl's head. But that was my first book for the week. So you came in just in time, Drew. What's your first book for the week? We talked about Conan. So if you want to briefly talk about Conan real quick and then jump into your next book? Or
I didn't read Conan. I picked it up, but I did not read it. I'm going to go ahead and start with Detective Comics. Are you guys reading Detective Comics?
Yes,
Anybody
we are.
else reading Detective Comics? I'm glad to hear that you're reading Detective Comics because it's a fantastic book. This issue is great as well. The art was fantastic. I like what Tomasi's doing here. Mankey's doing a great job bringing it to life. He's going back and realizing that this monster that's killing Batman's past basically is knows things about him and is being very personable. I'm saying not personable, personal about what he's doing. I thought this was fantastic. I thought that Damian coming in and taking care of Alfred was really great stuff. I love when Tomasi writes Damian. And I thought that them basically calling back to Bruce and Damian's first arc together, there's actually even a footnote in the damn issue that calls back to continuity. You guys know I love continuity, and you know that DC has been lacking as far as I'm concerned in the continuity department. This puts me right on the same page that I want to be with their book here. I love it. It was fantastic. Close to my pick of the week. Didn't quite cut it, though. Great stuff. Pick it up. Stash.
Joe.
Yeah, I mean, what a great story. You know, it left us off where, you know, there's Batman and Arkham. You know, we got the villains, and we all love Batman villains. I mean, let's face it, between him and Spider-Man and a few other characters, they just have great villains. And there was great villains in this, and there was a lot of introspect to those villains. You know, somebody's messing with his personal life and the things that he's regretted and the things that make him sad. And, you know, it's kind of messing in that area, and it's screwing with him a little bit. And how great is that? We get the introspect, we get the violence, we get everything we like, all wrapped up into 28 pages of just absolute Batman goodness on the road to 1,000. Great story. I may even read it again before I go to bed, just to see if there's anything cool in there I missed. And almost made my stash of the week as well, but I'm saving the stash of the week.
Yeah, the beginning of the book when they're going through the various criminals or villains in Arkham, and they're kind of like showing the aftermath after Batman's got in there and kicked their asses trying to get information. That was great, and all those panels. And not much I can really add on to what you guys said to it, but it was a great book. I'm looking forward to where it's going, trying to figure out who knows this personal knowledge about Batman, Bruce Wayne. And, you know,
I've got a theory.
You got a theory?
I've got a real big theory.
I love how Damian and Batman were going back and forth, blah, 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 and they were kind of really kind of almost on the same page. Also, bam, they said it pretty much the same time. That was good stuff. I liked how that kind of dynamics went through. So good stuff. Definitely a stash of the week.
And one other thing they're doing in this story that I think it might be relevant to the story is they're kind of playing off of this storytelling theory of past, present, and future. Right? We're used to this in the Scrooge story and all this, but they're playing in that too because you got Bruce Wayne's past with his parents dying, his current conflict now with Damian Wayne, and then the future of what this problem is. We still don't know what the problem is. And this is this great storytelling when you want to bring those three concepts into something, the way they're doing it and making it smooth and transition very well. It's just good storytelling, and I've been enjoying that.
Thinking of stash, Drew is coming in quite nice. You got a little bit coming back.
Dude, I'm like the Play-Doh man right now. I'm squeezing as hard as I can, but it only comes back so fast. Somebody told me I need to eat prenatal vitamins. I'm like, I'm not really even trying to mess with my hormones. That's messed up.
Yeah, you don't want to start lactating. That's never good for anybody.
I mean, it might be fun for a little while, but it might be permanent. You
never know.
I like to try new things, but lactating doesn't seem to be on the list.
You might find that girl with that one fetish, and it'll make your world.
Look, man, I will be a hit on the convention circuit.
We'll make sure to buy you little pads to put in there so you don't know leakage. Yeah, little pasties.
Mikey, did you read Detective Comics?
I did not read Detective. I haven't read it yet.
Oh, you're doing yourself a disservice. I'm sad for you. Can we pause the show so Mikey has a chance to read Detective Comics?
I mean, I
We could.
Toilet right now. Read it real quick.
No, you don't have to. I don't want you to feel pressured.
Yeah, especially on the toilet. We don't want no pressure on the toilet.
So,
I mean, if you feel a little pressure, just relax.
Okay, moving on. Joe, what's your next book? Please get us out of this topic.
we're going to talk about something that was surprisingly cool. And honestly, this was my stash of the week. Marvel Comic presents, and of course, I had to go. When you see old school covers like this, where Wolverine's dressed up like a gangster, and I'm going to Vegas in the middle of the month, and it just kind of reminded me of a Vegas setting. I just could not pass it up. All right, so what do we got here? We have great World War II story telling and imagery, and we got, what did Wolverine do in World War II, and how he's bound to not really a curse, but verbalized as a curse. We have Namor and his feelings about working with humanity, and the bombing in Japan, the two bombings in Japan that pretty much ended the war. And his feelings towards those, and that was deep. Like, that was a deep story. And I mean, we just got so many good things going on in this book. I mean, you got about 3 stories in here about the invaders, and they're sticking to the classic story of the way it used to read back in the Silver Age and even going into the Bronze Age. It was just great storytelling, and I love the way that they visually showed you the transition of the past versus it was just outstanding artwork in it. Beautiful closed caption storytelling that tightened everything up into a nice bun, but wants you to come back for more. And it is definitely my stash of the week. It was just great.
Mike, you're showing it there. Did you read it?
I did read it. Yeah, it was pretty good. Namor's story was the best out of all 3 of them. Marvel Comics Presents, back in the day was my jam. Used to pick them up all the time. You always got a Wolverine story, and then, they throw a Ghost Rider story in there. So I had high hopes for this, and I enjoyed it for the most part. Captain America story was kind of off, but I'm going to keep picking it up. So it's a stash for me as well.
How about you, DruManchu?
Well, this one wins ugliest cover of the week for sure. I think that it's terrible. But hey, man, 3 great stories, 3 situations where the art is better than okay. And we're getting a throwback to the opportunity to get more than one story going at the same time in a book. I dig this. I love those old Marvel Comics Presents Wolverine issues from back in the day. That's some of my favorite Wolverine stuff is in there. A lot of great Ghost Rider stuff that I know comes from that. So, I mean, those are the characters that I loved in those books. I was never a Ghost Rider fan myself of his own title, but I would read him in the Marvel Comics Presents books. So it's a good way to get a hold of these characters. I like what they did with Namor here. The Cap story was okay in my opinion. It left a little bit to be desired here and there. But the Wolverine stuff was like, hey man, what Soul's doing with Wolverine is all over the place. I'll talk to you about that later. But I think he's got a good hold on the character. So this is a stash.
Yeah, so these aren't reprints; these are new stories,
brand new.
Yep, it even says that right here on the cover.
It does. Okay,
3 all new adventures.
And yeah, the Captain America one was kind of, right? But the other two made up for it. I mean, it was a cool, heartfelt story, you know, about being yourself and yada yada yada. But yeah, the other two definitely made up for it.
Yeah, because I know they had the Venom Legends, Marvel Legends. Is that what it was? What was that Venom book? Those were all reprints from Spider-Man books.
And that was a cool deal. I mean, I thought that the presentation was really nice, so I ended up picking that up. But you know, for the price for a bunch of reprints, like man. But this Jen Bartel cover, man, like, how do you leave that on the fucking shelf? I looked at that and I was like, $9 or $8 or whatever the fuck it was. I was like, yeah, I'm still doing that. Jen Bartel, look at that cover right there. How do you pass up reprints packaged like that? Marvel knows how to sell books, man. Oh, Jesus. Either that or I'm an idiot.
You don't.
Oh, Mike got it too.
See? Marvel Tales, when they originally had that was all reprint stories anyway. I think they're just kind of reusing the name and using it to capitalize on the fact that everybody loves Venom, man.
Yeah, especially right now with Cage running it. Mike, your next book.
Chad, we haven't done that in a while. Aggressively Relaxing popped in here. I think I mentioned Double S comic reader, and I can't scroll up, so that's all that I know.
Comic Girl Ava's in the house.
Yeah, for some.
She says she just picked up all the old Weapon X issues of Marvel Comics Presents. Jockio loved that Weapon X stuff. This is legendary. Sam Keith Wolverine as well. That's the stuff that I remember, man. Comics Misexplained, hanging out in the chat as well as my nephew. That's what we got going on.
Speaking of Venom.
Speak of it.
I'm going to give you a Venom-like character. So, I saw this book. The chick looks like rip off. I had to have it. It's right up meat and potatoes. It's called White Widow. It's a Kickstarter book from Jamie Tyndall. This book got fully funded in 13 hours. We've all seen this kid's work runs. She has mainly female characters. This one's about Gabriel, a college girl. She's all of a sudden her father busts in with a gunshot stomach and telling her she's got to save the data and injects her with the serum. We don't know what it is or what it does, but it actually turns her into this spider-like character. Her powers are actually kind of like that. Her suit's like alive. They don't really go into much, but I loved it. I know it's a complete rip-off of Spider-Man, Venom, and all that jazz, but try to grab it a chance. So, stack potatoes.
Anybody else read White Widow this week?
No, if you got a copy of that, you're lucky. Selling out everywhere.
Yeah.
I order to eBay before the prices blew up. So, any cover. There's a whole bunch of different covers.
Maybe I should mention in the chat there too. Huey is actually in the panel too. I'm not Blasted or Stash. I'm Huey. So let's say they say,
Yeah, what's up with your camera?
I have it off because I was eating a little pie, a little pizza pie. It's a pizza pie.
Oh,
it
you,
should be
you can't
back
watch
on
you
now.
eat. Oh,
No,
there you
no.
go.
Now I know your
that
fetish.
Pretty face.
I know your fetishes, and I'm not going to be shoving pie in my mouth and have you watching me.
You only know the tip of the iceberg, my friend.
And that's all I need to know is the tip.
Hey, you know who's hanging out in the chat? Discovery Base hanging out in the chat. What's going on?
I saw him. That's what I was saying. He said, "Hey, everybody but me.
Hey.
I'm hurt. I'm hurt right here. Right here."
No, he didn't say
I
hi to you
also
because
saw-
you weren't there.
Hey, if you want, lurking around too. So big shout out to him up in Canada.
Okay, my next book for the evening is Invaders #1. I got this great Alex Ross cover. Anytime Alex Ross is a cover B, I pick up Alex Ross. Good stuff. It's a pretty big book. It goes back and forth a lot. It goes back from World War II when Namor was there with Cap, and then it goes back to modern, and back to World War II, back to modern day. It jumps back and forth a lot. So Namor is still feeling pretty hurt by the whole thing. He tried to save this guy named Tommy back in World War II. He couldn't do it. Cap thought he was going to be like totally distraught and totally hurt, but he goes into the bar. Here, Namor chilling out with this girl, drinking some beer, getting ready to get his groove on, and Cap's like, "Why? We know you're hurting. We know you're hurting." He's like, "I don't care about your customs. I don't care about this. People died. I don't care." So it keeps jumping back and forth. But now, modern time, Namor is trying to build an army to invade, to take over the world again. So here he is, back to being a bad guy. And I got 2 pages of notes on this dang book, but definitely it is a stash for me. I enjoyed it tremendously, and I will be picking up issue 2. I got a cool Invaders poster as well, and Alex Rossman picked it up when I was out in Bend this past week. I would show it to you, but I can't get my camera on there. So, Drew, did you read Invaders?
I didn't even know that Invaders came out. I'm a little upset that I didn't know that and that I didn't read it, and I feel like I missed out.
You did. You missed out.
Well, I can always go pick it up tomorrow.
Maybe, hopefully. But Joe did. Joe read it.
Yeah, dealing with World War II stuff. Love me some war. Kind of
Ooh,
like
look at that Scotty Young
World
cover.
War II. Got the Scotty Young going on there. Got this beautiful virgin variant of Namor himself. That was just sick, awesome cover. And then my favorite one out of them, the homage cover. It's a wraparound cover of the old school Cap, Namor, and all those guys. I'm gonna tell you, man, how do you top this kind of storytelling? Again, we're dealing with the past and we're dealing with the present, and sometimes I can get kind of lost in translation.
Mm-hmm.
So they fixed the problem. They made the art different from the past into the present, and man, did they do a good job on that. And then they're doubling down on this Defenders of the Deep deal. We got Namor's got a new power apparently. So, like, he can actually control water and where it dispels and where it respells. That's something that's not normally his thing, and we're going to find out in the next issue why he has that power. That's going to be kind of cool. I always thought it was weird that Namor could fly, but okay, whatever. But yeah, Namor's kicking ass and taking names and building up an army, much like what happened with Ocean Master and Aquaman.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're doubling down on that story kind of in this a little bit, but that's fine because they're doing it right. And man, it was just great storytelling. So this is my second stash of the week. I really enjoyed this. I am not a fan of these fish people style stories. I've never been that in the past, but I'll tell you what, between Aquaman and now, they've really stepped up the game. I used to joke and call these people fish whisperers, and they're making me eat my words now. And I'm enjoying these stories. It's just good stuff. And I'll tell you what, Namor plays a good villain with a just cause. And, yeah, doubling down.
Well, Namor has his little wings on his ankles, so
yeah, that's always weird.
So Yeah, and we didn't really talk about the picture at the very end. That was that kind of that moment, you know.
Well, also, one other thing, if I may interject,
Yeah, go
one
ahead.
other thing interesting happened in here. We saw Professor X.
Yeah, we did.
We saw Professor X in it. You know, he was able to walk, which kind of jacks up the timeline a little bit because Professor X isn't that old. But fine. If they're going to play it in there and they're going to double down on it, then make it good. That's all I said. Make it relevant. And we saw just a lot of other good stuff in there. Old school Bucky. We're kind of getting. They've been doing this a lot lately, where they're kind of digging into their golden age and silver age past, and they're bringing up characters. They're bringing up storylines, old teams, and I'll tell you right now, they're doing a great job of it, and they're telling great stories with it with modern artwork. Great.
Mike did not read that. So going back over to
It's nice you to sing a song about Mike not reading it.
I know I like to sing songs.
I can't wait till I didn't read something and you have a song ready.
I don't care about you enough to have a song ready for you.
That's fucked.
I just watched The Greatest
That's
Showman
fucked
last
up.
night, so I have musicals in my head. So
Sorry.
that was a good movie. I liked it. That's why
It says a lot about you. It says a lot about you.
It does. Think about Drew. What's your next book?
Oh man, I get to go now.
Yeah, you get to go. Just because I don't have a song for you doesn't mean you can't go.
All right, let's talk about the Batman Who Laughs.
That's the first issue.
What's that? Oh, that's the wrong one.
Yeah, that's the wrong one, dude.
I'm sorry. DC has the habit of doing this thing where they make their B covers look the fucking same over and over again.
I missed the B cover on that. Damn it.
I have it here somewhere, but it looks exactly the same.
Like
Cover
from
in issue 2. This
Isn't
is
he
issue
from the other
2's
side?
cover. What's up?
Isn't it from the other side? And he flipped.
Flipped. He's like looking bored. Like how could
Yeah.
it be flipped?
Well, I know, but Joe, hold yours up. Your cover B on that.
No,
kinda-
look, it's the same cover.
No, it's not the same cover
Oh, there's more light in his cover. It's the same cover with different lighting.
and different artists.
And hands.
Yeah.
I don't know who did that one. Is that Matina?
That's Jock, I think. No, Jock did the main cover.
Yeah, John.
Yeah, but I want to know who did cover B this week. Because if it's Matina, he probably just copied Capullo's and did different paint on it.
Oh,
That's what he does.
I see.
No, I'm not even lying. That's what he does.
Yeah.
He canceled on C2E2. We don't have to worry about that.
Oh, was he
Worry
supposed
about
to be
me.
going? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was supposed to be. I was going to go up to him and be like, yo, why you a tracer? And I can't do that now. This is the Batman Who Laughs #2. Jock did the art on this cover. It's phenomenal. He did the art in the interior. It's phenomenal. I was wondering where it was going to go after issue #1. Is it over already? Is Batman going to be a Joker? No, this issue, he's got a bunch of Joker antitoxin hanging out of his back. He's oozing fucking green stuff all over the place. The imagery is really insane. This is just really killer. And I love what they're doing with it. Where's it going to go? Who knows? But Batman is going to be kicking ass in this, and he's going to be Batman, which is the only thing I really want him to be, which he's not in Tom King's Batman. But unfortunately for me, he is in these 2 books. So second Batman, second stash of the night. Bam.
Joe.
Again, this has been a great week. I've been ready to just dog on a book. I will dog on a book, and this did not disappoint. I can't dog on it. And we get a new martial arts style in this called Bam Pow.
Bam Pow, baby.
How awesome was that? Great little homage back to the TV show of Batman. Yeah, it's all kinds of just great stuff's going on in there. How does one deal with himself if his self turns evil, right? How do you fight yourself? So you got to teach yourself something new. And just all kinds of just goodness going on in here. And just the sick methodology of the Batman who laughs and the way he thinks and the way he reacts to things. It's even done in a styling to prove that by the way that they do his blocks differently. His voice boxes differently than anybody else. great stuff. And that's what you really want in a Batman story. Yes, Batman, we know the story. We know the tragedy. We know the weirdness that goes on in the back scene. Now, what do you do when you add a villain that you can't predict? I tell you what, in 10 years, the Batman Who Laughs will be right up there with the Joker is today. Hands down, great stuff going on here.
That's why I'm building my shrine. if you've guys seen it on Facebook and shit, my Batman Who Laughs shrine.
Yeah,
I love that.
It's shriney. It's all kinds of shriney.
Shriney. What'd you think of Batman?
He's such a shriner. We got to get him one of those little hats.
Yeah, a little car to drive in. Being parades. Mike, what'd you think of number 2 on Batman Who Laughs?
Oh, I loved it, but I have one question for you, longtime DC readers. Who's that kid at the end?
That's Jim Gordon's son.
That's Jim Gordon's son from Black Mirror.
Yeah.
And what does he do?
You know Snyder Jock? They're known for that 880 cover where it's Joker like made out of bats.
Yes.
Yeah, that run right there was Black Mirror. Black Mirror is a story about how everybody thinks the Joker's doing this messed up stuff, but it ends up it's Jim Gordon's son, who's a complete and utter psychopath.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna stash this book. So.
Yeah, I really wish I would have got that cover B. Man, that's kicking myself in the butt. I don't think either one of my stores had it either. So, yeah, Batman Who Laughs. Behold the Grim Knight. Grim Knight didn't really play a big role in this book either. At the very end, he shows up. He snipes Batman. Shoots him with I don't know what it was. Something that if he moves, it hurts him even more.
Taser bullet.
Taser bullet. That was called.
That is.
Joey, get the boys in the lab working on it, bro.
Yeah.
You're gonna make millions.
So at first, when I started reading this book, when Batman has all those vials anymore, is the Joker antitoxin stuff, I was like, I was kind of a little bit didn't care for that too much. But here we have
it looked more like a Bane scene with the.
It did definitely. No, so we have Alfred trying to save the Joker's life on the table. Joker's whatever, laughing as he's getting still put under you like my little Joker.
I like when he's like, "What's he laughing about?" He's like, "He's not laughing. He's seizing." That's how he seizes.
Yeah,
he's just like hilarious.
So Batman goes to the last resort. It's this thing that's supposed to protect Gotham from any kind of virus or any kind of thing but Batman Who Laughs knows this, so he's going to disable that. So here in the middle of that big fight scene, Batman's thinking he fights just like me. He's a little younger, a little thinner, a little quicker. There's my Joker right there that I drew for Mikey. So and Batman takes him down, and then he's like, I got you. My new fighting style will beat you. He goes, no, this is exactly where I needed to be. And bam, that's when Grim Knight hits him. It's good stuff. I had to go back and figure out the Jim Gordon thing because I never read Black Mirror. Is it Black Mirror, right, Drew?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I never read.
Are hard to get a hold of.
Yeah,
I try to read it in trade if you can. You can probably even find it on Read Comics Online if you're a pirate. I guess it's not really being a pirate. Somebody else is a pirite, and you just take advantage.
No pirate, no comic pirates here. So I had to go back and figure out.
He likes.
Oh, shoot, that's Dallas. That's a long time. That's a year ago, man. Moving on from that. So yeah,
are you just intimidated because his coxswain is much bigger than yours?
No, we didn't compare coxswains very much for very long. You guys interrupted. So I had to go back and look who that kid was, and Jim Gordon's son, and how he played a part in previous storylines. So I mean, it's stuff that came out when I wasn't reading comics. So Batman Who Laughs, number 2, stash, waiting for the rest. Who started that one? That was
me.
That was Drew. Now we're back to Joe.
All I do is talk about Batman on this show now.
Yeah, I know. How much you hate him, how much you love him. There's no middle ground there, Drew.
Look, man, relationships are all about back and forth, peaks and valleys, man, peaks and valleys.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll go ahead and bring it up since I've been talking so good about comic books. Let's talk about another garbage book, and it's been consistently garbage in my opinion. Drew, what am I going to say?
You're gonna be wrong about X-Men again, Joey, but it's okay.
Yes, I am. You want to talk about inconsistent storytelling? Oh my God, this makes me so mad. We can go back 3 issues where he could have done the same thing. We could have gone back 2 issues where X-Man could have fixed everything, but they were too busy trying to fool the reader. We could have gone back an issue ago and gotten the same story, and we can end this series quicker so we can move on to a better storyline and new writers. Now, I will say this. The art was pretty clean in it. I'll give it that. But again, all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, first off, we find out that X-Man has mommy and daddy issues. Go figure. You think you're a god. Okay, I'll give you that. I'm still reading it. I'm trying to find out what everybody's interested in this in. Even to the point that on my own channel, it's been messaged to me, hey, are you and Drew just kayfabbing about this? No, we are not. I really don't like this storyline. This is not a setup. And I don't like the way they told this story. And I'm sorry, Jacko, if that's upset you. But just all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he's like, okay, everybody's dead. Boom. Okay. And I guarantee you they're going to do another, aha, it was all in somebody's head moment. Because that's what this book does. Surprise, it was a holodeck. If it was a Star Trek story, and I'm going to finish the run because I'm stupid, but maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm missing a point in it, but all the other side stories that were happening now are irrelevant. He ended everything. Now, I know that there is 2 more issues going on in this book, but how much of a story can you really tell to clean up all the inconsistencies in this book in 2 issues? Good luck. Maybe you'll give me a big aha ending that has something to do with, I don't know, some existential threat or some cosmic nihilism, or just give me a villain that makes sense, please. But that's my personal opinion.
Mike, X-Men, you were holding it up there.
Well, I haven't read that issue yet, but I've been enjoying it.
Drew, give us your.
Dave, did you read X-Men this week?
I did not. I dropped X-Men because they were getting crap. Sorry, Drew.
You got pokenized. Is what happened.
Is that a new term? I see that on shirts everywhere. I got pokenized.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know how it happened. I think it's only sexually transmitted. But hey, I hope the 2 of you are very happy together. Uncanny X-Men number 10, man. What an A cover right there. Look at him right there. They're all dead. He's walking away into the sunset, John Wayne style. Badass. Man, look at this Ron Lim Sterenko callback here. This is homage cover. It's freaking gorgeous. Look at that. Cover of the week right here. Nothing else came close. Holy moly, this Finch Wolverine. Cover of the week.
That is a nice cover. I do like
it's freaking gorgeous. Hey guys, I found that rip-off Batman and Rash cover where they ripped off themselves. It was under my X-Men covers. Yeah, the X-Men number 10, Uncanny X-Men, pick of the week. Let's go over some things Joey said, because I don't want to counterpoint you, but X-Men has daddy and mommy issues. He has since his inception as a child. That's his character. That's kind of like all he is super powerful mommy and daddy issues. It takes place in somebody else's head. It's a holodeck. These are things that you don't like. I get that. I get that is something that you don't like. That is what X-Men events are. It's time travel. It's convenient. It's this and that. That is what X-Men events are. That is what X-Men events have been forever. And if that's what you don't like, I'm sorry. This isn't for you. As far as like that he could have done this, he could have done that. Sure, they could have. But what they're doing here is they're setting up an event. They're setting up the Age of X-Men, where they're going to be giving you House of M style, Age of Apocalypse style, a different pocket universe that exists in order to posit what if questions. This is something that I absolutely love. I love when we went in, what was that Avengers story where they were in the prison where everybody was like in like a 50s soda pop shop or whatever. That was amazing stuff. The Kobik stuff, pre-Secret Empire.
Yeah.
That stuff, I like that. I like these alternate universes. I really, really enjoy Age of Apocalypse. I think that it was formative in my comic book fandom, so I've got a special blind spot for it, despite all its flaws. But it's something that I really enjoy when they make these things, like Shadowland, the Daredevil stuff. It's just a different kind of world. House of M. These are the types of stories that they're trying to tell here. I think that if you didn't like this, you are not going to like that. Save your money. You're not going to like that. I'm of the school of thought it's going to be fucking awesome. If you're waiting for a new writer on X-Men, don't hold your breath. This is going to be Rosenberg's Animal. And I think that that's awesome because Rosenberg has written some of the best stories from Marvel that have been overlooked and canceled. He did that Secret Warriors coming on a Secret Empire. It was an Inhumans book that nobody read. That book was awesome. It was unstoppably great. I really loved it. So I like Rosenberg's storytelling. I like what he's doing with these characters. I like the fact that we get everybody shows up, everybody shows up, and everybody gets owned. And could he have done it beforehand? Yeah, he could have. He wasn't trying to do that. He even says in the book, I could have done this all along. I wasn't trying to do this, but you can't stand in my way anymore. And that's where he draws his line in the sand. I think that it really, really ramps up in the way that it should throughout these issues. I think that we're going to get a great event out of it. And I think that coming out of this Age of X-Men stuff, I'm going to be more excited for what we got from the X-Men moving forward. And if you're not on board for that, I'm sorry that you're wrong. Rosenberg is one of the better writers in the Marvel Universe right now. He's killing it on Punisher. This guy knows how to tell a story. I think that it's just really, really great stuff. And yeah, man. I mean,
I have no problems with Rosenberg and his writing. I just have a problem with this story arc. It's a little too neatly bundled up with very simplistic explanation with no real thought behind it.
Seems like it's well planned.
I think the next arc, I think you are right there. I will give you credit there. The next arc is going to be awesome. And yeah, as a kid growing up reading X-Men, yeah, the telepathy and the mental mind stuff has always been there, but it's never been highlighted to this degree of so much importance that between issue and issue, it changes. I just can't get on board with that. 1 minute you can distract him. The next minute he's omniscient. The next minute he takes over somebody else's mind, but can still be pulled apart if you just try hard enough. It's not gripping me, I think, is really what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying it's a bad story, and I'll correct myself right now. Maybe it's not a bad story. Maybe it's just not gripping me the way that I expect it to. And therefore, since this one's kind of let me down personally, I guess my expectations are going to be a little higher for the next one.
So you've actually gotten messages saying, hey, is this all a ruse that you and Drew pull off every week?
Yeah. Now, mind you, on my channel, I think it's like 68 people, right? I'm not huge on YouTube or anything, but some fans have actually messaged me and they're like, dude, do you and Drew have a problem? Like, are you guys kayfibbing? And I had to look up the word kayfibbing because I didn't know what it meant.
Oh, I didn't know what it means either.
Okay, it's basically what you see in wrestling.
Oh,
like two people have a beef, yada yada yada.
Yeah,
Joey and I have a lot of problems with each other. It doesn't prevent us from enjoying each other's company.
Yeah, me and Drew are very different people. And I respect Drew and his opinion, and he is definitely intelligent when it comes to comic books, no doubt about that. And we're not going to agree on the same things. We live very different lives, I'm sure.
This would be a pretty fucking boring show. It's a boring show. But boring if we all agreed to the same shit.
Yep, that was great. I loved it.
I'm going to start doing that. That's my new character. That was great. I loved it, guy.
Mike, what's your next book?
I only got a few more. Fantastic Four, number 6. Great Doctor Doom cover here. This is right after Ben Grimm's wedding. Galactus is attacking Laverdia, and Doctor Doom is trying to stop him. And the Fantastic Four are trying to stop both of them, I guess. This is a pretty solid issue. I loved it. I love Doctor Doom, one of my favorite Marvel villains. So this is right up my alley. So a definite stash.
Yeah,
some cocaine.
My only issue with the cover is I wish his mouth was different on there. I wish he didn't have like a little line, later in the book they showed him almost like a little grill kind of right there, and see some interpretation of Dr. Doom. I wish they would have had that grill more of look in there. But great cover nonetheless, and a great story. Yeah, so here Doom is, Galactus is moving in, getting ready, trying to destroy the Earth, and Doom's sending out his Sentinels. He's sending out, what's her name? It is Zora out to go fight Galactus as he's coming in to destroy. Then they get a sensor going off saying it's Fantastic Four coming. He's like, move everybody off. I want them stopped before they reach Mount Doom. And he's going to take on Galactus himself. He goes in there. He starts trying to kick Galactus' ass. Galactus knocks him down. It's all a ruse. The whole thing was a ruse. He says, I can't read it. Misdirection, defeat Galactus. So it was a great story, and Victorious, that's her name. I guess that's her name after she gets transformed by Doctor Doom to get these cosmic powers. She goes to defeat Fantastic Four. She ended up kicking their asses pretty good. But again, that's all a ruse. So it's a good book.
At the end.
What's that?
I said typical Doctor Doom at the end.
Yeah, where Reed is telling him, once again, dude, what are you doing? You're putting everybody's life at risk. You're making these bad decisions. And dude's like, no, I'm right where I need to be. I planned this out from the beginning. Typical Doom. Just typical Doom. That's all I got to say. But stash on this one, even though they interrupted Ben Grimm's wedding, but it's a stash. Drew?
Yeah, Fantastic Four rules, man. Come on. Look at this Ben Grimm cover right here. I got this Contest Champions cover. Look at this Doctor Doom right here. Doctor Doom, top 3 villains of all time, bro. Top 3 villains of all time. It goes Thanos, Doctor Doom, Galactus. Oh, wait, 2 of those guys are in this book. Freaking awesome. I loved it. Cooter's art was just incomparable. Really great stuff. I wanted to say this was my stash of the week, but I had to burn that on opposing Joey 110%. So we'll go ahead and say that this is tied with X-Men for stash of the week. No kayfabe on that one. This was a great issue. I really, really dug it.
So you wasted your stash just so you could defy Joe?
About views, baby. It's about views.
All may come to defy me, but I will rule all.
Drama.
Hashtag kayfabe. Joe, Fantastic
Controversy creates cash. Just ask Eric Bischoff.
Yeah, right. Okay, so X-Men 4, what do we got going on? Shenanigans. We got shenanigans. Now, I'm going to go ahead and make a prediction for the next issue. Spoilers alert. The whole thing's a ruse. It's not really Galactus. It's a ruse to keep the masses under control and convince him that he's ultimate Lord Supreme. That's why he's got a problem with the Fantastic Four showing up. Boom. I'm going to make that prediction now because that's the thing you do now in comic books. I know that sounds horrible, but maybe you shouldn't predict comic books that way. But the entire time I'm reading it just seemed like a very odd. I'm saying it's a good story. It's a good story, but it just seemed kind of odd that all this was happening at this time. It just didn't fit.
It's by design. Doom even says, no, you're here right now, right here, because that's where I want you to be.
Exactly.
They came across the border and were attacked because that's what he wanted to happen. Galactus is there because that's what he wants. Because Doom is in
think it's a real Galactus, man.
It is.
We'll find out. We'll find out in the next issue. We made our predictions next Sunday at Blaster Stash at the Ultimate Showdown. Who was right? Joey Pocan or Pocan Joe, as most people call me, or DruManchu.
It's going to be a month.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Monthly book.
So covers that I picked up. Of course, I picked up that Big and Grim. I picked up this great homage, this beautiful old school Reed Richard wearing his old school hat from back in the day.
Is that a Ross cover?
Yeah.
Yeah, I should have picked it up.
Had to get a cover with Galactus on it because he's in the story, or maybe he isn't. Well,
no, he was.
And then my favorite cover, I've been collecting these covers right here, these kind of homage with different villains and superheroes on them. Those have been great too. So yeah, we got a kind of sort of a new character going on in this. We got Ben always being the butt of the joke. He has to drop out of the airplane. He doesn't get to float to the ground safely. He doesn't get to spend his honeymoon with his wife, his new wife, but his wife kind of gets it. She's kind of thinking about kids now after meeting the Fantastic Kids. So, you got a lot of heart. You got family. I'm always about family and community. When you tell those kind of stories, I'm on board with you. I'm a sucker for that stuff. I may even shed a tear for you. And I really like the action-packedness of this, of that team back together on their first real big mission together, the real deal. It's going down. They're going to go stop it. And we have one of our favorite villains of all time, Dr. Doom. The only guy that does, well, he's not the only one, but I'll go back with Drew. There's only really a handful of villains that when they say why they're doing it, it makes sense. And Doom's one of those guys. And I think that's just awesome. I like to see him in his old school way, not so much in the Marvel Knight trilogy way. I like Doom being Doom, classic Doom, because that just makes sense. And this is awesome.
So real quick in the chat, Drew talked about top 3 villains in the Marvel universe. Comic Mix Explained said Doom, Magneto, and Thanos is probably his 3 top favorites. Anybody else who is still watching, type in your 3 favorite villains in the chat so we kind of know who your favorite villains are. My next book
has to be up there too.
Who does?
Red Skull.
Red Skull's good too. Venom number 10. This is not really a whole lot of action-packed story. This is kind of a little more backstory. So we have Eddie and his newfound brother, Dylan, sitting in a restaurant. And Eddie starts saying what happened, why his father hates him so much. And we come to find out, you think it's him. Like he's running on the street, they're talking the story, that he's going to get hit. But you find out that Eddie is actually drunk and hits the neighborhood kid and kills him. Yeah, because his dad's so powerful, he doesn't want his son to be in trouble because it's going to tarnish the name. So he gets him off, essentially, and he says, no, you're innocent, you're innocent, you're innocent, beats the crap out of him until he agrees. And we kind of figured out that Eddie's dad was abusive to him. Yes, he made a mistake as a kid, but, he still says, hey, I did something wrong, I need to fess up to it. But his dad pushed him until he said he couldn't do it. They ended up leaving the restaurant, and Dylan's like, hey, where are we going to go? Where are you going to go to your place? He's like, yeah, here you go. Pick your spot. A little mattress in an alleyway. And then we have Null appear again, or at least we think it's Null. We're not sure if it's Null yet. Could be just maybe he's in the holodeck. Maybe he sees it. But Null shows up. So, which is kind of cool. Because Null kind of came in and came out really quick. I'm hoping he's going to have a little more lasting character development going on in the future. So definitely a stash. We did find out, too, at the very end, Reed Richards, is it the ultimate Reed Richards? Is that who that is? Drew's shaking his head, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He ended up catching him, and because Eddie had passed out in the alleyway. Isn't it nice to see Venom jump back onto Eddie to protect him too when Null shows up? Not just a dog right there. So good stuff, good backstory, and of course, dude, it's a stash. It's Venom. It's Donny Cates. Drew?
Yeah, I love this. Cates is doing a great job with Venom. Check out this Conan cover from Humberto Ramos.
Real quick, was Conan in there?
No.
This is a Conan
I don't
care about that cover. I hate when they do that. I hate when they put people on the cover like that and not even in the story.
Dude, Conan versus Venom? Is this not a badass cover?
Well, if it was Conan versus Venom in the book, yeah.
That would be great if it was a
This
what
is
if
a
story.
Conan versus cover. It's
I
a
know.
line of covers
I know.
about Conan facing off with other heroes in
Thank-
order to give you beautiful art and promote the relaunch of Conan. What could you possibly have against that?
I hate when they throw characters on the cover that are not in the book. They do it with Harley Quinn all the freaking time.
Your hatred
Sorry.
is just ignorance, sir. That's ignorant.
Sorry. I interrupted your glowing review of that book. I'm sorry.
You're just being ignorant now. You're just being ignorant.
Okay.
That's ignorant.
Okay,
Nah, man, it's pretty good. I liked it. I think Kate's going out of his way to show us that via the fight with Null, Eddie and the symbiote together are kind of fucked in the head, and via his situation with his father, that Eddie is definitely himself fucked in the head. So I think that them putting that together, I think he's having like a PTSD kind of moment where he kind of sees Null when the symbiote kind of like hops on him because they're still connected, and he's literally just laying into his little brother. So when this is happening, so it's just that you want to be sure that you know what's going on. It's not a holodeck situation, as we like to say on the show.
Hashtag holodeck.
I think that them getting in inside the psyche of this character is really great. And I think that yeah, man, how better to make somebody an irredeemable scumbag than to have them kill a kid while drunk driving? Like, come on, this is America. Everybody hates drunk driving kid deaths.
Joe, Venom 10.
So yeah, I didn't know. I got the cover that has nothing to do with the comic book people. But again, I've been collecting these, both the heroes and villain series of it. I just like the way they look. So yeah, this is weird. I think PTSD is a little bit strong of a word in this. More depressionary symptoms are going on in this, because we don't have like hard flashbacks or anything like that. Obviously, Eddie Brock's sick in some way. I did like the little spiel about yeah, this is my therapy dog. It helps me with anxiety, and it's a symbiote. That was funny. Like, I like that. And the way it was like just automatically assumed, thank you for your service, and just went that route. Hard touching, right? Nobody, there's a couple of things that most Americans do not like. They don't like to see children that have been beaten up and abused. We're very strong about that kind of stuff, especially to the people that do that kind of stuff. And we really don't like it when drunk drivers run over kids. We don't, we're not big fans of this kind of stuff. It's not an inshallah moment for us. We tend to push back on that kind of stuff. And,
right. Hey, can I stop you real quick and interject? Because I really love that you made that point. Because I think that the way that Kate's juxtaposed him being the perpetrator of a terrible thing, while also giving you another terrible thing that he's also a victim of, gives so much depth to the story that you just don't expect in a freaking Venom book. So yeah, go ahead.
When I got the part where Eddie Brock hit the kid, like I'm mad at Eddie Brock. I'm sitting there thinking, Jesus Christ, what a piece of shit, right? And then all of a sudden, I'm like, oh shit, he's used to child abuse too. Sorry for the cussing, but I mean, now that's literally what I said. My wife was sitting next to me. She was like, what are you reading over there? And I was like, Venom. She was like, really? I'm like, whatever. But I was like, holy crap. This is a very deep story. Is it an action-packed comic book story? I'm going to say no. Is it relevant? Definitely. Because now we got more insight to a character that we thought we knew, and we didn't know it went that deep with it. And that's good. That's good storytelling. That's how you develop characters. So now you actually feel bad for him. He wanted to do the right thing. He's feeling the guilt. He's going to pay for that for a long time. So yeah, but and he just got finished fighting a god too. Like he's telling the kid, and the kid idolizes this guy. He needs a hero. And he's picking Eddie Brock, and Eddie Brock is not the hero. He does not see himself as a hero. He does not want to be the hero. He doesn't want to be that. And he just wants to be well, and he can't because of his own mental state, and that's rough. And that got way too deep for a comic book. But hey, there you go. There's our philosophy for this now. It's in comic books. Eat it up.
Mike, you said you hadn't read Venom. Is that correct?
Oh, correct.
Correct. You are correct, sir. Moving back to Drew. Yeah, sure.
All right, guys. We talked about some DC. We talked about some Marvel. Let's talk about an indie title, Middle West, #3. I'm finally caught up in this series.
God, I'm so irritated.
What?
I did not know that come out this week, and I didn't. It should have been on my pull list. I didn't get it. I'm super irritated. But I didn't mean to interrupt you. Yes.
It's your invaders. Just deal with it, okay? I won't spoil it. But here's what happens. No, I'm not going to do that.
No, go ahead, man.
I think that we finally get to see a bit of the story from Abel's father's perspective. He's kind of been painted as a villain thus far. This kind of lends him some humanity. I got the impression that he was very upset about the way things turned out and very concerned about his son. And sometimes as parents ourselves, we realize that we don't always portray ourselves as the hero to our kids. Sometimes, unbeknownst to us, we can be the villain of the story. And as children with parents, we all realize sometimes you looked at your dad and you saw a villain. And sometimes you look at your dad and you saw a hero. So it's a lot about perspective. And I think that this is going to end up being a little bit deeper of a story than I originally thought it was going to be. The art remains consistently great, and the storytelling is really fun as well. I think that this is really going places. And I think that it's added some depth to Abel and his father's plight. So, yeah, good stuff. I like it. Stash.
Good thing I was typing. I wasn't listening to you. I didn't. Okay. Joe.
Yeah, this is one of the few times me and Drew are just going to jump on board with each other and agree on something. So if we ever get into a bad argument, we'll just look back at this book.
Hey, remember Middle West #3?
So what's going on in this book? Again, yeah, Scotty Young's got it down. Him and his team, his creative team, man, they're really knocking it down. You know, we have obvious villains. We get introduced to a troll in this. We kind of have this trailer park, futuristic, steampunk type environment. And Dad has the same. We found out that they're not tattoos, but it's some sort of bacterial marking on their skins that do this stuff for them. We find out the kid does have a power. Something does happen. He can shoot a blast of, I don't know what you want to call it. For right now, we'll just call it a ray of sunshine, well, whatever the hell you want to call it. Dad can turn into tornadoes, and he's got the same markings on him. So there's a family thing there, and that's really cool. Typical kid on a quest with his little sidekick Fox, who hasn't been distinguished as if it's a real character. I've started noticing that. I went back a couple of issues. I'm like, does anybody else notice that a fox is following this kid? And nobody else references the fox. So that's interesting.
The villain in issue 2 referenced the fox.
Who did?
The villain in issue 2.
Right, the villain did, and that made me even more curious on that aspect because, like, nobody else seemed to notice that this fox. Nobody else has an animal following them around that can talk to them. That was weird.
Oh yes, I do.
He ran away from Bum Wizard. We got a troll in this one. We got a kid on a quest, and he's got witty banter with his fox friend. I'll be honest, it's a good story. And the same storytelling abilities as Time Bandits, The Labyrinth, Dark Crystal, and these kind of Muppet-based stories, that's the kind of story that we're going through right now, where they're taking you through a world, introducing you to characters. If this thing ever became a movie, like Jim Hench and Creature Shop has got to be on board. And they got to follow those old school deals because that's how it reads. That's how it presents itself. And it's just goodness.
Mike, did you read Middle West this week?
I haven't read it yet.
What do we pay you for?
You pay him?
All this? All this right here?
All what? Your screen's black.
Oh, back on then.
I don't know what you're saying. Give us your next book, Mike.
I only have 2 left, so I'm gonna knock them out real quick. Return of Wolverine #4. Flipped this open, realized I didn't read Return of, so that's null and void. And then #7, I actually picked up a Superman book, pretty cool David Finch cover here. I thought we were going to find out more about what new powers John is going to have. We find out what he's been up to in outer space blast. I didn't like it, so I'm gonna not. So
Are we going to lightning round? Is that what you're doing?
You're the
it's
boss.
like 11:15 right now.
Okay, lightning round it is. Jeez, oh Pete, getting all grumpy, Mike. You turn into Grandpa 2.0 and you get all grumpified. My first, or my book, Shredder in Hell. This was actually a pretty good book. I actually enjoyed this. I have not been reading Turtles at all. I know Shredder died in the main title. I'm not sure if Splinter killed him, but at the very beginning of this book, he has no head. And it shows in there that Splinter had chopped his head off. But he's going through hell. It's a very, he's trying to figure out if he's a good guy, he's a bad guy. Does the dragon spirit control him, or does he serve his own destiny? It's kind of a cool book. Walk Through Hell #7. I said last time I wasn't going to pick this up, but this is my pull box again. And I'm like, okay, fine, I'll just buy it. This is one of those books you need to read in the trade. Get jumped back and forth so much, you lose where you are. I do love Garth Ennis. I think he's a great writer, but this is hard to read on an issue month to month. Black Badge #7. I don't know. There's no number. Black Badge. We had the pink. We have the pink badges. I think that's what they're called in here. They're the girls. And they have cookies that turn into smoke bombs or plastic explosives. So also their cookies can do our truth serum. You eat them, the boys start telling them the truth. We find out this girl here, which we've known as a girl all along, is actually a girl. The other guys don't know it's a girl, or at least they don't. It's a girl, but it's a stash for me. Return of Wolverine #4. Find out that Wolverine has been rused, by, I forgot her name, but she controlled the dead people, can bring them back to life.
Surprise! It was the holodeck.
Yeah, surprise the holodeck. Complete and utter cover buys. I got some of those this week. Spider-Girl 26, Art Germ.
That's not Spider-Girl.
Oh my goodness, who wouldn't pick up that? Elvira.
Oh,
Look at them ancient meat and potatoes.
She's like 67 years old. Can you believe that?
Yeah, I mean it's spoiled, but I'd still eat it.
Linzer cover. Gotta pick up a Linzer cover. Linzer. And then I forgot who the artist was on this. But Catwoman. Waiting her cover buys. Those are my books, and I'm sticking to it. Drew, lightning round.
Lightning round. Scooby. Yeah, man.
Scooby.
Stash it. Ironheart. Yeah, man. Didn't read it yet. Return of Wolverine. So many cool things. So many shit things. What is it? It's a shit sandwich on delicious bread, but I can't endorse it. Days of Hate. Finally collected the whole thing. I went back and read it. If you can take yourself out of your own political beliefs and enjoy this story for the world that it builds and the characters that it has and the way that it puts them through the ringer, there is a lot to enjoy here. The art, not my cup of tea. So that being said, overall, I think that this is a blast, even though I really like the way that Alice Cott really gets into the heads of these characters and basically just screws them all up. If you like watching characters being pushed to their limits, this is something that could make a really, really great Netflix miniseries, or something on the HBO miniseries or something like that. But there's just a little bit too much political stuff back and forth. It's just like it's a kind of a different world where Antifa starts being terrorists to get their way. It has a lot to say. I don't know if I agree with everything that it says, but it's definitely an interesting thing, and I think that the interpersonal relationships in the book were its strongest point. And I think that using this world as set dressing to make those points kind of took something away from me. So overall, I will blast it. Even though there were definitely things I enjoyed about it. And if it sounds like something that would interest you, definitely go pick up the trade and check it out. I'm sure it's 12 issues in an Image series. Will probably do a hardcover as well. Some people were talking about how great the art is in this book. I would not want to own a hardcover of this fucking sketchy bullshit. It looks like somebody did it with a magic marker. But beyond that, there were definitely things to enjoy about it. So some food for thought. Spider-Man, stash it. As Guardians of the Galaxy, I did not read this yet either. Man Without Fear. The ever-changing art in this book seems to be getting better. Story is consistently great. I actually love this book. Pretty good stuff. Gideon Falls. Close to my stash of the week, man. This is really, really great stuff. I like the way that they put this story together. The end of this arc, I believe. And, man, just really, really great. It's all coming together, and the cliffhanger at the end of this is pretty amazing. Picking up these Noto variants. I showed the other one earlier when Joey showed his. So loving that. Got that art Germ, that Jeremy Germ. He's going to be at C2E2, fellas. Bring your weird looking white girls with all the same face and get them signed by the guy who makes these paintings with his computer. I don't know how talented he actually is, but hey, man, more power to him for selling a lot of books. Yeah, I mean, copying yourself over and over again versus copying somebody else over and over again, like, really, what's the difference? I guess he did a really good one in the beginning. I might sell these off, but I did find these this week in the 50-cent bin, which is really, really great. This is Batman Superman number 75. This is an oversized anniversary issue. There's some really, really killer art in the back of this issue. Some Manipul stuff. A really great Tomasi story, a Billy Tucci section there. There's some Adam Hughes stuff in here as well. The front end story in this book is kind of forgettable. The back end is a bunch of really tiny, like, one-page spread shots or like pinups or stories, and really worth the pickup. Really enjoyed that. And this is a really rare Fiona Staples cover here for Batman Superman. This is also sitting in the 50-cent bin. This book is it's not super hype, but definitely goes for a couple dollars. So excited to find that. It's so pretty. I think I might hold on to that one. Also close to the pick of the week, but it was my pick of the week when it first came out. And it's my pick of the week pretty much every time they release a new volume. The number one is, but this is Black Hammer #1 Director's Cut. This has a lot of rough art in it, and in the back you get a chance to check out Jeff Lemire's script, where he's got a couple of input on panel layout and things like that. It's really cool to read through. If you're enjoying this series, this is definitely a must-have part of the collection. What is this? It's like $5 for this. Man, this is great. I absolutely love this #1 cover, and I think in the black and white it really pops. I just super dig this. I really like Director's Cut issues, and this is one of my favorite series out there. If you can get your hands on #1 of Black Hammer, that's something you definitely should be doing. And if you can get a chance to do so, this might be an easy way for you to grab it. So really great stuff. I enjoyed most of the offerings this week. I think, Jesus, Return of Wolverine is like the only thing I really didn't like that I read.
We're going to pass the offering plate over to Joe. What do you got to put in the offering plate for lightning round?
Okay. So I don't have them right down here, but as Guardians of the Galaxy, it was okay. Could have a little lackluster, but you get that in comic book theories. And Black Widow #1. What the hell did you expect from that? It was what it was supposed to be. I'm woman, hear me roar, and the story didn't make any sense.
Who did the art on Black Widow #1? Does anybody know?
Surprisingly good. Well, I'm not going to say good. Well, yeah, I'll say good. It didn't like astound me. It was your typical comic book art that you basically see nowadays. Wasn't huge. Again, they're over there someplace because they're forgettable.
The last
stories.
series for Black Widow was Wade and who else? Who did the freaking art on that? Chris Samney, and I absolutely love that art where it's just really great spy thriller stuff. You could pretty much ignore the story on the printed page and kind of just read it as sequential art. I think that they're two creators that work really well together, and that was some really good stuff from them. But yeah, man, I didn't even know that Black Widow #1 came out this week either. So I'm gonna have some words with my local comic book store and let them know.
First issue, I'll be honest with you, like you're already getting the hints that they want to build up something there. But the truth is, there's just too much. Just a bunch of BS in there. No real comic book collector or reader or person that just likes good stories really cares about. It's focusing on the wrong stuff, and it's just weird. It reads weird. I'll pick up another one because we all know what's going to happen. They got to throw some new characters in there that they're going to double down on, and they're going to be first appearances. And I'm going to flip that shit in a year when they try to make the characters popular. To continue on, I'm sorry. Return of Wolverine. Yes, this was a bad story. But again, I always make the argument, if you're going to write a series, you need a break every now and then. So that's when the bad story comes through. And that's what happened in Return of Wolverine. However, they did have some really cool covers. I'm a cover guy. I like the artwork on covers, sometimes more than I like it on the inside. This is your I'm going to be a boring story because I'm just trying to fit continuity together or trying to make continuity or trying to build a story. That's all this was, just to get us to understand the real villain behind everything.
On that Black Widow cover, it says Flavino.
I'm sorry?
Flavino?
Yeah.
Flavino,
yeah. Maybe? Okay,
I'm trying to think of people's last names that I can't pronounce. So, yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry, Joe.
No problem. Amazing Spider-Man #8, the last 2 issues, they're just filler issues. Again, we'll go back to that. We're in that time frame. They're just
I love that cover. I didn't pick that up. That's the only note I grabbed.
You gotta love villain cover.
Oh, the Fin Fan Boom, man. That is so great.
And the cool thing is, does anybody know who the 3 cowboys are?
Is that the Rawhide Kid?
No, these is a villain cover.
No, I don't know who they are.
Ooh, we might have to have a contest at the end of the night, and I'll send you something really cool. We'll talk about it later.
I thought that was the Rawhide Kid on the cover there in the center.
No, you're so close, it's sick. Flash who cares?
Flash.
Number 62. All right, so it read just like the last issue where they went against the strong girl. Now we got a psych guy, and it's a psych force, and it's already reading just like that. So blast it. Surprisingly, Superman #7, Stash. This story's starting to pick up some steam. Superboy's back on Earth. Grandpa turns out to be crazy. House of L actually means something other in the universe other than the planet that got blown up. Okay, cool. And I'll tell you what, the artwork in this was just beautiful. That's the only word for it. Bright, vibrant colors, very sharp lines to it, no sketchiness behind it. It was just great. And plus, that cover right there just speaks volumes about Superman. It had nothing to do with what was going on in the story, but that's what we're getting today. Let's see, what else do we get here? Oh, Wonder Woman, number 62. I thought I would end up being a Wonder Woman fan because the story was leading me someplace
I like that
I
cover.
was really getting into. And then it did a BS talk thing where there's not really a whole lot of battle in here except for maybe a page and a half. Nothing was learned. Nothing was perfected. No ending really came about. Everybody's the exact same. But hey, a peace treaty got signed. Congratulations for wasting my time. The warning. This was all right. If you watch the show, you know I've been loving this storyline. And what we're getting is this glimpses of everybody going into a conflict, and it's the story is to be made up in your own mind, and they're setting it up that way. But what do we got in here? We got everything from a space sniper guy up on the space station. We got an operations team that's ready to go. We got a superhuman that's got to set the charge. We got a lot of things going on, but very little dialogue to where you can kind of make up the story and kind of build in this environment. And I'm telling you right now, they talk just like people in the military do on the radio. A little bit of nostalgia for me. That was really cool. Super big burn of the book, like want to set it on fire, throw it off the bridge, set it on fire, whatever. Set it on fire twice, just in case it doesn't burn the first time. Avatar. Now, Joey, you saw the movie. Why'd you get the comic book? All right, fair enough. I set my comic books down while I was looking at something else, and I accidentally picked that up. And I brought it up to the cashier, and I'm a generous person to know when I made a mistake. So I went ahead and paid for it, and I went ahead and read it. And guess what? It's the movie. Again, this is just cannon fodder for the movie that's going to be coming out soon. Some other books that I picked up that I was not able to pick up last week. Self-Made. This is getting dropped. Okay, we get it. It's an AI world. Yada yada yada. We predicted that in the first issue. You just doubled down on it and did not excite me in any way whatsoever with that. Freeze dropping this after 2 issues. Again, not really telling me anything. Just making things happen. Why are people frozen? Why can this guy unfreeze them? Why do you flash back to the future and back for no reason? It's just a jumbled mess. That's all that is. Somebody got a chance and they're blowing it. Good book, Conspiracy Theory. This is the second issue. This is the Doppelganger issue. This is great. It's kind of slightly poking fun of all of our tin hat wearers out there that make fun or not make fun, but believe in conspiracy theories. It kind of touches bases along those and tries to make them make sense. And the truth is, it just reads like a comedy. So if it's not a comedy, sorry to the writers. I've been laughing my ass off. Stabby Bunny Forever, #1, read it. Okay, I didn't read the first Stabby Bunny, so I think I'm lost in it. I didn't get it. I'm not picking up any more of that.
That's just a new universe for the Stabby Bunny world. Is what it is. It was pretty bad.
Yeah, you know what? That's my fault. Maybe I should have gotten some intel on what Stabby Bunny was and everything. I read it and I was like, it's garbage. And of course, how can you go wrong with Bully Wars? This has been a consistent, just fun read. I like the covers. I like the story in this. And I love that artwork in here. It's just very cartoony. It's very fun. No real deep meaning behind this. I can't pull out any philosophy or any real psychology through it other than growing up as a kid in school. I love this cover with the red balls about to hit both of the kids, both the bully and the kid, the nerdy kid, because, that's just an homage to, what happened in school in the 80s. When you play dodgeball, you got hit with the rubber ball because you were the easy target. So great stuff there. And I didn't pick up any Golden Age this week, so I'm sorry for that. Just didn't see anything that really caught my eye.
Hey, Mike.
Yo.
What you doing? Are you playing with your tendrils?
I am playing with my tendrils.
You know what time it is?
It's fuck.
You cut out right when you were getting ready to start it.
I don't know if I'm up to it. Shut your fucking mouth.
Well, that's okay, I guess. You're still cutting out a little bit, but you go ahead. Talk about your Funkos.
Since we're running so late, I'm just going to skip over a few things. Nothing. They Funko Pop coming. What else? The Wayne Gretzky Funkos are coming. We're going to get a 4-pack of all the teams here. And the normal just a normal. Shit, the Kings. I think he's wearing. I'm sorry, I'm exhausted here. Back in the January release. That's really more Game of Thrones.
Is there a Gretzky chase with them in the Edmonton Oilers? Because that would be great.
I think that's in the 4-pack.
I would troll the hell out of them.
I did pick up finally after all this time my where's my fucking camera at? My Flock Beastman Masters of, so I have all the Masters of the Universe now except for Ram Man, so because that's like major dollars. And I also picked up Vampire David from Target. It's 1022. I also picked up this things, Mighty Muggs Wolverine, right there, where his little claws are actually coming out of his fingers, his hands. So just leave that right there. Did you, Bing?
I didn't get anything this week. Drew, how about you?
No, man. No.
Joe?
No.
No plastic this week.
No plastic, Mike.
All right, shut your fucking mouth!
Here, Mike.
No, never mind.
No, go ahead.
No, please.
No, I'm done.
Are you sure? I mean, well, I went back to your screen and presented you to everybody for nothing now. Did you take a magic marker to his face? No? Okay. So, it is all confirmed. We're all C2E2 bound in March. I'm looking forward to it. And Paul's going to be there as well. So, I'm as head. Unfortunately, he can't be here tonight. But the rest of the panel member are going. Right, Drew? You're confirmed.
Oh, baby, I paid for plane tickets. I better be fucking going.
Joe, how about you're confirmed? Of course, you're the one kind of setting the house up.
Yes, sir. Everybody on this panel is confirmed, and I got the hookers and cocaine. So let's do this.
Whoa. We don't need a night in Vegas here.
It's Baltimore all over again.
Well, I didn't go to Baltimore. I didn't get that experience.
We'll teach you.
Sucks to be you.
So that's going to go ahead and end it this week. Last minute shout outs to go around, Drew. Shout out for anybody?
Yeah, shout out to the chat. Shout out to all our friends out in the comic book community. Shout out to Discovery Bay, who's letting everybody know what's on every day. So check that dude out. He was in the chat earlier. Really nice guy. Hung out with him on the Comic Core on Friday night. Nice dudes. Check out what he's doing over there. Shout out to Comic Girl Ava in the chat. Been having a little bit of a back and forth with her here, as well as Comics Misexplained. Always love having you in there. Jock Yo was in the chat tonight. Funk Off was in the chat tonight. Everybody was up in that chat tonight. Very, very happy to see you guys, and excited to get to C2E2, man. It is burning a hole in my pocket right now. My love for C2E2, I just want to spend it, but I have to hold that energy back. I have to hold it all back and hold it in so I can explode all of that energy when it comes time for the con and probably get arrested. Hey, I'm going to go on vacation. I'm going to leave on probation. So that's the way we're going to live. And somebody told me the other night I had to be professional.
Who said you had to be professional? Me?
Not you. Not you.
Okay, moving on, Joe.
Oh, yeah. Hey, the chat room. You know, you guys, it's why we do it. We love having you guys in the room. We love talking comic books with you. Please, anytime. Yeah, C2E2, super excited about that. I'm leaving for Vegas on Wednesday because I'm rich. I do what I want. Actually, I'm going for SHOT Show for some work stuff. And then C2E2 right after that. Also, me and Spectacular Spider Grandpa have an online auction going on right now. If you're a comic book collector, we got something you want in there. Me and Spectacular Spider Grandpa, we do not do the live online auctions. We do a secured site because we care about you and your money.
I do live auctions because I care about me and your money.
No offense, but whatever. Again, Jacko in the room today. Thank you for your comments. I just saw them online. Ava, hey, thanks for swinging by. All About Comics, thanks for swinging by. Discovery Comics, seriously, I could go through all the names everybody's been through tonight. But hey, thank you guys. Hopefully we're bringing you something. And again, if you always have a suggestion of something you want us to talk about, definitely leave it. If you have not hit up our Patreon site, you should go by and check that out because we give away some great stuff that you want. I guarantee it. And that's where the money goes. You donate to that, we get you great stuff. And I'm sure our main leader will talk more about that later. I've been drinking a lot. I'm tired.
Drinking
tired of
makes
you
life
drinking
hard.
a lot. C2E2 is actually just a cover for your intervention, Joey.
That's what it is. We're all going to get
Good
you to
luck.
that house and say,
It's going to be the worst vacation ever.
Mike, shout outs for you, sir.
I want to shout out the hookers that Joey's going to get. I also want to shout out Bella's Books and Toys. If they're watching, they said they'd be watching. Bella, part of the antique mall me and Joey always go to, where they got these awesome ups that I buy a lot of. I want to shout out my bed. Paul, who's not here.
Paul, who is not here.
No, I don't care about it. Oh.
I want to shout out you about it. And that's it.
My daughter just made her first appearance on the show. You guys saw her walk around
I
behind
didn't
me.
see her. I was busy writing
I didn't
notes.
see her until she came over and walked behind me when she's apparently going outside. She doesn't have school tomorrow for the fantastic holiday. Happy Martin Luther King Day to everybody out there. I love me some Martin Luther King. He had dreams, and I got dreams too. And apparently,
Too bad yours are wet.
Whoa! I have dry dreams all the time, man.
Sure you do. Yeah,
Look,
yeah.
Why you gotta make fun? I'm shouting out Martin Luther King Jr. and making fun of me. Come on, man.
Yeah, well,
Did
that's
you
just how
make
it
Dave
rolls.
sleep in the wet spot?
Hey,
rubbed
I
his nose
really
and
hope I'm
said,
getting my own
"No,
room
bad dog."
at C2E2. I really hope that. If not, I'm taking the couch. I don't care. I'm not sleeping with my bunk with Drew again.
The couch is what I nicknamed my junk. So if you're taking the couch,
Oh, shut up. Okay, so Joey was talking about earlier about our Patreon. So this month our Patreon was the Red Sonja #1. I forgot the name of the artist. The same one I did, White Widow. So that book went out to Steve at Rogue City Comics. He was pretty excited to see that. I went and talked to him. He says, "Hey, honey, I got the Virgin Red Sonja cover." And, of course, his wife responded back, "She don't look like no virgin to me." So that was pretty funny. He gets all these girly comics. He won that Baroness book as well. So definitely go check that out. Our Patreon, little as $1 a month, you get a chance to enter in the contest for the book of the month or books. Sometimes we give out a few. We also do the podcast now. So I take the live show, plug it in the audio, do a little swishing around, doing a little editing, adding some stuff in there. Last week I added a nice little piece at the end there. Definitely try to do some fun stuff. So stuff you may have missed here, you may catch it over there. Some little extra fun stuff. So go check that out. You can find us on iTunes. You can find us on Slacker. You can find us on Google Play. Just type in Blasted Stash. You'll definitely find that for sure. And you can catch on the go.
Slacker. That sounds cool.
Yeah, you can find us on Slacker. And you can listen to us while you're running in the gym, getting all sweaty. Listen to our sultry voices talking about comic books.
Sweaty.
Get all sweaty.
I'll listen to myself in the gym. Yeah, that sounds like a great podcast.
You go
Actually, it's not a bad idea. Listen to these back while I run. Yeah, Rumble's tonight, baby.
Oh, Rumble tonight? Well, I better get out of here. So thanks, guys, for coming by. We'll catch you guys next week. And if we don't, hopefully we'll catch you guys at C2E2. It'll be kind of fun to hang out with.
Thanks for missing the Royal Rumble, hanging out with us instead.
Yeah, definitely. So whether you blast it or whether you stash it, happy reading, and we'll catch you guys next week. Oh, real quick. Who needed a calendar? Who needed a calendar? I got an extra one.
I need one.
Well, not you. Wasn't it Double S that wanted a calendar?
Double S.
Double S, if you want a calendar, I got one here for you.
Double S is watching the Rumble. He doesn't give a shit about us anymore.
Maybe he'll catch you in the backside.
Don't send
Whoa,
him that
wait a
calendar.
minute. I didn't mean to say that. That sounded really bad. We got to get out of here before we can. Bye, guys.